Speak Amazon domain name equals news greater than July 20, 1969. The world holds its breath. A grainy black and white image flickers on television screens. A lone figure descends a ladder. Neil Armstrong takes one small step. A symbol of American triumph. A testament to human ambition. It is the story we all know. The story of heroes. Of destiny. But it is not the whole story. The real story is darker. More complex. It is a story of secrets and gambles. Of bitter rivalries and near-catastrophic failures. This is the past, exposed. To find the real beginning of the moon landing, we don't look to Cape Canaveral. We look to the ashes of Nazi Germany. The year is 1945. World War II is over. A new, colder war is beginning. American intelligence officers scour the fallen Reich. They are not hunting for war criminals. They are hunting for scientists. A top-secret mission is authorized. It is called Operation Paperclip. Its primary target is one man. Wernher von Braun. The brilliant mind behind the V-2 rocket. The weapon that terrorized London. Von Braun and his team were dedicated members of the Nazi Party. Their weapons were built with slave labor. Thousands died in their underground factories. But the US government saw only one thing. The future. They offered these men a deal. Forget the past. Come to America. Build us your rockets. It was a pact with a dark history. A moral compromise hidden from the American public. A necessary evil to win the next war. The war for space. While von Braun's team worked in the Texas desert, America grew complacent. They believed their technological superiority was absolute. Then came October 4, 1957. A faint beep is heard from orbit. It repeats again and again. A sound that changes the world forever. The Soviet Union has launched Sputnik. A small, polished sphere circling the Earth. It is a stunning technological feat. For America, it is a profound humiliation. Panic grips Washington. The beep from space is a constant reminder. The Soviets are winning. The race is on. But America is not one unified team. It is a fractured collection of rivals. The U.S. Army, Navy, and the newly formed Air Force all have their own rocket programs. They fight each other for funding. They hoard technology. They refuse to cooperate. The Army has Wernher von Braun and his Jupiter C rocket. The Navy has Project Vanguard. The White House chooses the Navy. They want a civilian, peaceful-looking program. They do not want a German scientist with a Nazi past as the face of American spaceflight. December 6, 1957. The world's cameras are at Cape Canaveral. America will answer Sputnik. The Vanguard rocket stands on the pad. The countdown reaches 0. The engine ignites with a roar. The rocket rises 4 feet into the air. Then, it collapses. It sinks back onto the launch pad. It explodes in a ball of fire. The satellite it carried is thrown clear, beeping pathetically on the ground. The media calls it Flopnik. Kaputnik. It is a national embarrassment, broadcast live for the world to see. The illusion of American power is shattered. The White House has no choice. They turn to the man they tried to hide. They turn to Wernher von Braun. In just 84 days, his team does what the Navy could not. Explorer 1 is launched. America is finally in space. But the race has just begun. And the cost of failure is about to become terrifyingly clear. The first American astronauts are chosen. The Mercury 7. They are test pilots. The best of the best. They are portrayed as modern-day knights. But behind the scenes, they knew the truth. They were not pilots. They were passengers. Strapped inside a tiny metal can. Perched atop a modified ballistic missile. One astronaut called it spam in a can. Their lives depended on thousands of components. Each one a potential point of failure. November 21, 1960. An unmanned test of the Mercury capsule. The Mercury Redstone 1 rocket. The countdown is perfect. The engine ignites. The rocket lifts off the pad. And then the engine cuts out. The massive rocket, full of fuel, just stops. It rises a mere 4 inches. Then it settles back onto the launch pad. The escape tower fires, leaving the capsule behind. The parachutes deploy. They drape uselessly over the side of a live, fully fueled rocket. For hours, it sits there. A ticking time bomb. One stray spark could have vaporized the entire launch complex. This wasn't a triumphant leap. It was a high-wire act with no safety net. Each launch was a roll of the dice. Even success could feel like failure. Gus Grissom's Liberty Bell 7 capsule splashes down perfectly. But the hatch blows prematurely. Seawater floods the capsule. Grissom scrambles out. The helicopter tries to save the spacecraft. But it's too heavy. The capsule, full of priceless data, sinks to the bottom of the Atlantic. A ghost in the machine. A near disaster. Then came President Kennedy's challenge. A man on the moon before the decade is out. It was an audacious goal. Many at NASA thought it was impossible. The Soviets were still ahead. First man in space. First woman. First spacewalk. They seemed unstoppable. To catch up, America had to build a new machine. The Saturn V. The most powerful rocket ever created. And a new spacecraft. Apollo. But the pressure to meet Kennedy's deadline led to cut corners. To unacceptable risks. January 27, 1967. A routine test on the launch pad. Apollo 1. Astronauts Gus Grissom, Ed White, and Roger Chaffee are inside. A spark flashes somewhere in the complex wiring. The pure oxygen environment turns the capsule into an inferno. The astronauts have no chance. In seconds, the dream becomes a nightmare. The program is frozen. Congress is outraged. Many call for an end to the Apollo program. It seems the race is over. The moon is lost. But in the ashes of the tragedy, a change occurs. The rivalries and complacency are burned away. A new sense of desperate purpose emerges. Engineers redesign the entire spacecraft. They fix thousands of flaws. The program was rebuilt, stronger and safer. But the clock was ticking. The CIA delivered chilling news. Soviet spy satellites showed a massive new rocket on their launch pad. The N-1. A monster designed to take cosmonauts to the moon. America had to make a move. A gamble of epic proportions. December 1968. Apollo 8. For the first time, men will ride the giant Saturn V. The rocket has never flown with a crew. It has only been tested twice. The plan is not to orbit the Earth. The plan is to go to the moon. 250,000 miles away. It is a stunningly bold decision. An all-or-nothing bet to leapfrog the Soviets. If it fails, the crew will be lost in deep space. Forever. But it works. Humanity sees an Earthrise for the first time. The tide of the space race has finally turned. The finish line is in sight. But the hidden dangers remain. November 14, 1969. Apollo 12 launches into a dark, stormy sky. 36 seconds after liftoff, the spacecraft is struck by lightning. A massive surge of electricity flows through the rocket. Every warning light in the capsule blinks red. The telemetry stream to mission control turns to gibberish. The crew has lost their navigation platform. They are flying blind on a pillar of fire. The mission is seconds from being aborted. Disaster looms. In mission control, a young engineer named John Aaron remembers an obscure simulation. A rare system failure he saw once before. He makes a call. Try SCE-20. The astronauts don't even know what the switch does. But they follow the command. They flip the switch. Suddenly, the data stream returns. The systems come back online. Control is restored. A mission to the moon was saved by one man's memory. By one obscure command. A secret history hidden behind the grand spectacle. The final steps to the moon were not just about heroic astronauts. They were about the unnamed engineers who solved impossible problems. They were about the political desperation of the Cold War. They were about the moral compromises made in the shadows of another war. The iconic image of a flag on the moon is not the end of the story. It is the final scene of a thriller. A desperate race against time. Won by inches. Saved by luck. And built on a foundation of secrets the world was never meant to know. /Amazon domain/speak